class, Mr. Nutako, who is going to take you through customs, procedures, and practices as the course model. And the course outline will be doing with the introduction to the general knowledge on the world and the National Customs Administration. And by my first intro to you is, we are talking about customs, procedures, and practices. I will always ask my students, from your own view understanding, what is a customs procedure or a practice? If you're able to just in a sentence or two get it right, then anything that follows henceforth will make sense to all the students. So, in a very short, less than 5 or 6 words, customs procedures and practices are just legitimate steps taken by the trading public to take goods out of customs control. Take note, legitimate steps, not just any steps. If you do anything that is not legitimate, that is by law, it becomes an illegality, and you infringe on customs laws, and the obvious punishments are there. So I use the word the trading public, which will be my watchword throughout my encounter with you. The trading public encompasses any entity that deals with customs administrations as enshrined in international conventions developed by WCO and specifically in the Kyoto Convention as revised. So customs administrations are the other side of the divide as the regulators, the stakeholders acting on behalf of controls as a government agent. That is why you take legitimate steps to take goods out of their control. Though the goods that we are talking about are your own investment, they are your own property, but by the same laws that we'll be looking at, the moment they are landed in any customs restricted area, it becomes temporarily the bona fide property of the government until you disentangle yourself from them. So trading public encompasses importers, exporters, manufacturers, and anybody that has got an interest in any goods crossing borders. So I hope the intro about what we are coming to treat as a course is clear. Customs practice or procedure. Take legitimate steps to get your goods or cargo out of customs control until customs gives you the green light that I release the goods to you. You cannot have the right to take your own import that you have used millions of dollars to import, and after paying the taxes, go. Likewise, if you bring your goods near to any customs installation for export until customs says, hey, you are right, the goods should be loaded on the vessel for outbound, your investments become stored. So it is even local manufacturers within customs jurisdictions also have some control by customs authorities, because there is always a tax element that is the interest of customs on behalf of the government. If you are a local manufacturer, you pay the tax called excise tax. That's why the other side that enjoys the international capture, we call it the import duty or the export duty. If you don't pay that, the third type of tax is the excise tax, which you pay to government. That's why customs is at the other side of the divide. And you, the trader, have to be compliant before customs agrees or disagrees with you. So that's normally the two positions. There's a line drawn. One side is the referee, and the other side are we, the players, the trading public. So you do good, the trading public, you have no problem with customs. Then by then, it's by laws or conventions enacted by the World International Organization, comprising all countries as members who have customs jurisdictions in them. That's why we have the World Customs Organization. I will entreat you, my students, to research and read more about the World Customs Organization. It's very important. Yes, I can give a brief about them before we come to a national one. It was founded in Brussels. One of the best things the European Union has done for the world, and for that matter, humanity, since after going very poor after the Second World War, and they sat down, took their life into their own hands, have done a lot of reforms and enacted a lot of laws that are safeguarding humanity. One of them that they came together as a union and told themselves, anywhere 2 or more customs administrations from these countries meet, they should form an organizations and have things being done in common. So the WCO was formed initially on 26 January 1952 or 3 thereabouts, and their actual technical name is the Customs Cooperative Council. So that was purely meant for the Europeans. But then, as time propelled, they saw that most countries outside Europe realized the usefulness and the important role the WCO, the Cooperative Council, was playing, and they came to join. So the council said, why not? Let us adopt a formal name that reflects the global nature of WCO. That's how come the CCC, which is their actual formal name, has been overtaken by their nickname, which is called the formal working name, World Customs Organization, based in Brussels. And all reforms or anything, any modernized customs administration that you see in the world now, be it very high technological platforms or whatever, all the reforms are emanating from conventions enacted by specialized committees of the WCO that they adopt and dovetails it into their national laws to let them adhere to the principles of the WCO. But we don't just start and using WCO instruments, conventions, but you have to first of all be a member of WCO. So currently, out of about 195 or so countries recognized by the United Nations, about 187 to about 190 are members of the WCO. So you can see that almost the whole world customs administrations are part of the WCO. I'm not going to talk much about their legal instruments that they have done, which all countries have adopted. That is your business to do. Go and research on WCO conventions. These are the legal instruments: conventions, agreements, protocols, MOUs, and the most outstanding one amongst them that has brought to bear on all reforms or modernization is the revised Kyoto Convention. It is there that we are seeing the recent transformation of all customs authorities or organizations or regimes, or you call it. The Kyoto Convention has got a lot of names how customs administrations are referred to depending on the country in which they are. So WCO, very important. If you don't go to find more knowledge about WCO, you might be doing yourself a lot of harm. But go and research. As we go along, from time to time, I'll be questioning you about or even some of the topics or subtopics I will be treating. I'll be making reference to WCO tenets. Yes, without it, there's no way. Then WCO is the international or the world body, out of which every country has got its customs administration. Ghana, we have a checkered history of our customs authority. We started as customs and excise department through our colonial masters. The British, they brought the customs business or customs authority to Ghana actually. And even that time, whoever was the head of customs was the treasurer of the country, because they generate income and issue us money to the government to pay or offset government expenditure. So from that road, we came through customs excise and department, still under the Ministry of Finance. Then came the reformations too in Ghana during the revolution in 1986, thereabout through. It was metamorphosed from the department into a service. Yeah, and that's where you see on the lips of people in Ghana, even up to today, SEPS. SEPS is an acronym for Customs Excise and Preventive Service. It dovetails all the 4 tenets of customs administration. Customs sees to the international import and export businesses. The excise about internal manufacturers. Preventive, normally they are also paramilitary, so they have to police our borders as any other security personnel do. Then they were service. That makes them autonomous. Because by then, when they were just customs and excise, they were pure civil servants, not even public servants. It was a hell belonging to the department then.